When I was first starting out in silversmithing and jewellery, my mentor told me that polishing should take up over half of your making time, which of course I thought was absurd. But after 36 hours at the polishing motor, I did realise that he was in fact completely correct. And that if you want to achieve a high quality finish in your silverware and jewellery items, you're going to need to spend a good proportion of your time polishing. So today we're going to take an introductory look at the polishing motor, to have a look at what it is, how it works and what it's used for in jewellery and silversmithing, as well as some of the more frequently used attachments and polishing compounds.
So what is a polishing motor? A polishing motor is a power tool designed specifically for polishing, buffing and finishing metal. It typically consists of a motor that spins 1 or 2 spindles at high speed. Polishing wheels and mops are attached to the end of the spindles and used with polishing compound to smooth metal surfaces and bring out the shine in your pieces. Polishing motors come in various sizes and styles and budgets depending on the kind of pieces you're making, but they all essentially function the same way. You can use a polishing motor to polish all kinds of silverware and jewellery at various stages of the making process, to remove file marks and scratches, remove fire scale, and bring your pieces up to a shine. Usually the polishing motor is the final stage in the making process after filing and sanding, but it can also be used to finish individual component parts prior to soldering in order to polish those hard to reach places. A polishing motor is a relatively straightforward tool to use. Unlike a pendant motor that has variable speeds, a polishing motor most often just has one speed and is operated using a simple on and off switch. The motor is turned on, polishing compound is applied to the mops or wheels while they're spinning, and when the jewellery or silverware piece is brought into contact with the attachments, the friction generated by the spinning motion removes tarnish, scratches, and other imperfections from the surface. When polishing your creations, there are really only 3 main things you need to remember. The first one is pressure and heat. Polishing compound works using a combination of pressure and heat. As you polish, the pressure of the metal on the mop causes friction, which in turn causes heat, enabling the polishing compound to work. Knowing the right amount of pressure to use comes with experience. But as a general rule, if you're not generating any heat, there's too little pressure. But if it's too hot to handle, it may be too much. It's always a good idea to keep a pot of cold, fresh water beside your polishing motor to dip your piece into to cool it down if it does become too warm. The second one is to keep moving. Keep your piece moving consistently at all times. The mops and polishing compound can be really abrasive, and it's surprisingly easy to accidentally polish a dent into your piece if you keep it still on the same spot for too long. And the third one, and this is really important, don't let go. Unlike a pendant motor where your foot is in control of the speed, a polishing motor will just keep turning regardless of what's going on around it. And if you don't hold onto your piece tightly, it can, and will, go flying across the room. So it's important to keep a strong hold on whatever you're polishing and concentrate fully to avoid any airborne jewellery. Don't be put off though. As with anything, it just takes a little practice to get a feel for using a polishing motor, and the finish you can achieve is second to none. While we're on the subject of flying jewellery, I ought to mention a little bit about safety. Things can and do go flying, and polishing is a messy business, so always wear safety goggles when using your polishing motor. And while some polishing motors have built-in extraction systems, it's also a good idea to wear a mask and make sure your workspace is really well ventilated. So now we know how it works, I just want to introduce you to a few of the mops and brushes that you can use to polish your pieces. There are loads of different attachments out there, but these are my go-tos and will enable you to polish most things. The calico mop. This mop is made up of lots of different layers of calico, and it's a great all-rounder for initial polishing with tripoli. It's ideal for flat surfaces like bangles, rings and silverware. Stiff bristle lathe wheel. These wheels are perfect for the initial stages of polishing to get into all the angles and irregular curves of a piece. Use with tripoli or your more abrasive polishing compound to remove scratches and file marks. A reflex mop. This is the softer cotton version of the calico mop, and is used after the initial polish with rouge to make your pieces really shiny. And the soft bristle lathe wheel. This is the softer version of the black lathe brush, and it's ideal for using with rouge for final polishing in all the angles and curves of your pieces. And finally, a finger felt. These are really great for polishing the inside of rings and bangles and bringing them up to a really high shine. It's worth noting that you only want to use one type of polishing compound with each mop, so make sure you clean your work in an ultrasonic or hot soapy water before changing polishing compound, and keep your mops separate from one another. In terms of polishing compound, there are a few different options available, but I'm a big fan of using Tripoli and rouge. Tripoli is used in the initial polishing stages to remove scratch marks and any remaining file marks from your pieces, and rouge is used after Tripoli with a soft mop to put a mirror finish on your work.
Thanks so much for watching this video, and I really hope you found it useful. I'll pop some links down below for all of the things that we've looked at, the polishing motor and all the attachments. And if you'd like to take a deeper dive into the wonderful world of jewellery making, please pop on over to my website. A bientôt.